what we are going to do today is, instead of making a wreath, in actuality, you guys are going to actually help me to finish a wreath, and I will show you guys that toward the end. If any of you are in my wreath groups, you may have already seen it. What we are going to do today is make two different kinds of centers that you can customize so easily to do different styles with the same design, if that makes sense. We have felt that we're going to use for the first one. There are different ways that you can cut it and fold it to, make different styles or types of wreath centers. Also with the decorative rope and the foam half ball, all different styles of rope and yarns, and really think outside the box of what you could wrap around here. I'm just going to show you one today with a decorative rope. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down. Oh yes, we are in my sunroom. If you see any mess, it's all craft stuff and a few tools. So I'm going to flip you guys down here. All right. So, got my scissors. I actually had a yard of this, and I just cut straight down the length, and I measured the width to be about 3 inches. I'm not sure for sure if we're going to need to cut another long piece like that or not. So I have 2 yards, I guess you would say, of 3-inch wide felt. Let me set this and this off to the side here. And I already did one, so you guys could see ahead of time what it's supposed to look like. And I'll show you this closer up here in a minute. So this one, I have not done anything to except cut it. And it might, you can see it even gets a little bit thinner here. It doesn't need to be perfect. Or I would have laid a ruler down and, cut along it. It really does not need to be perfect. So about 3 inches wide, and you're just going to want a total 2 yards. So even if you bought, here I have some these squares from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I think I got these at Michael's. I know they even make ones that are this big. So you're just going to have to, use however much mesh. You could probably get 4 folds out of this one. Or, even go this way. You might still get 4. No, probably 3. But what we are going to do next is you want to have your glue gun on and ready to go. We are going to start by gluing this in half. Okay? That's all we're going to do. Just going to run a thin bead of glue along the edge, staying close to the edge, but not too close. Okay? And then just hold that up. Ouch. Watch your finger doesn't get on the glue. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Alrighty. Okay, so there's that. And we'll just finish down along. You're going to need some glue sticks, so have them ready. Just give that a little bit of a push down just to make sure it's staying. Okay. And now, here is what we did. So, there's that one I did yesterday. I have no idea where it's at. You could cut this, each one, to be that thick if you really wanted to. And I think I have, maybe not quite that thick, but I have done that. I cut these very narrow, very thin. And I also did not go up more than halfway. I cut basically to halfway between each edge. On some, you may cut in further. Like I said, it's all going to depend on the look that you're going for. And I have some examples that I will show you once we get this one started. Before we do this one, I'll grab some of my examples, okay? But before we start the blue, we are going to start cutting this one so it is ready for us. And I'm going to turn my glue gun off for a moment. Save on the battery. You can start at whichever end you want to start at. But you want to kind of, I don't know, however you want to hold it. And I have no measurement, just thin. And I actually went back a little bit too far on that one. You guys can see that. Somehow. Here we go. If you guys can see how thin that is. And you're just going to keep doing that the whole way across. About halfway up. So yes, this does become quite tedious, but the result in the end is wonderful. I know you've seen Julie's Wreath Boutique use these and make these. If you watch her tutorials. I'm trying to think who else. I think Lori from Unique in the Creek. I'm pretty sure I've watched her make these before. But I feel like Julie's Wreath Boutique is where I owe the credit. I think I watched her do it first. Before I even knew about anybody else, really. So how's everybody doing? We have any new viewers this time? Do a little refresh over here on my laptop. Nope, no more comments. Alrighty, so I'm just going to keep on cutting away. Talking away about nothing. Did anybody else, okay, so I'm in Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. And last night, for practically the entire night, it stormed. It rained, it lightninged, the thunder was ridiculous. I mean, it was so loud and so constant. My poor dog was in my lap with her head up on my shoulder, shivering. She was so scared. I almost had to sleep in the sunroom last night instead of being able to go to bed because the storms finally stopped. And then I keep thinking about Miss Dove, because Mama Dove comes in the evening and sits all through the night. And then she takes off in the late morning, and Papa Dove comes in and he takes over the egg watching. And all I could think about was, I need to rig an umbrella out there so that those poor things aren't just laying there getting rained on. I mean, it was pelting. It was so much rain. And I just, oh my God, I felt so bad for them, but it was middle of the night. There was nothing I could really do. So I think I might try and get Jarrett to help me rig some type of contraption or just zip tie an umbrella handle or something. Oh, I cut too far up on that one. That's all right. Okay, I'm going to try to speed this up a tiny bit. Sometimes if you go too fast, you can accidentally cut too far. And while cutting close, very close up to the edge, you will do sometimes, that is not the look I'm going for. I don't want that this time. And when you see my examples, you'll know what I mean. Some of you may already know what I mean. Oh my goodness, I think I need to put my glasses on. Your hand will get tired. You'll have to, like how I'm doing now, I'm coming at it from a different angle, holding the scissors differently and using the table. That will even get sore after a little while. If you guys have already finished one piece, go ahead and keep going. Depending on how many pieces you have, just go ahead and get as many as you can get done. Because it's not, once I get started and you guys see how this is made, you'll understand how to finish it, because you just stop when it's as big as you want it. think I keep getting off camera, sorry. Oh, yeah, hand is hurting. Oh, I did. I cut that. My bad. Almost done. Whew. Stretch it out, stretch it out. I guess it really doesn't matter which one I start with. All right, so pick an end, whichever end you feel comfortable. And we're just going to, another glue stick in. And then we're just going to start off with, oops, that's right, I turned that off, I'm sorry. I am sorry about that, it shouldn't take that long to heat back up, it's pretty hot. Give me a chance to look for any more comments. Nope. One viewer. Is it just me and you, Arlita? I'm just going to start with a little bit of glue and just roll that nice and tight. And yes, I got glue on my fingernail. All right, who doesn't love playing in hot glue? Don't lie, I know you do. Tell me in the comments. Whoops. Okay, and then we're just going to add another strip of hot glue. And we're just going to keep on rolling, keeping it straight. You want to keep that bottom edge lined up. Try not to let it go upwards or downwards. And just keep rolling. Add another strip of hot glue. And just keep rolling, keeping that bottom edge straight. Holding back your little phrase here as you need to. Okay, and you can kind of see so far what we're getting. Now you can do this however you're comfortable doing it. If you don't like to roll it all across the table, although I think even once it gets to a certain size, it's a little harder to keep it lined up, that you might want to, you know, just start doing this. So you just put a bead of hot glue and just roll it. And you can see it's getting tighter. Sorry. All right, so right now we're about 2 inches. All right, so if you figure like a large styrofoam ball is nearly 6 inches. The small styrofoam balls are about 3 to 4 inches, depending on where you get them. I'm going probably somewhere in like the 3 to 4 inch range is what I'm looking for mine. I think this is the center I want to use. Glue everywhere for this wreath. Wait till you see this wreath. Oh my goodness. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. I've seen some people do a little bit of an overlap. You can, or you don't have to. It's completely up to you. I usually do just a very slight one. Just give that a second to adhere. And just every once in a while, just go in and fluff, make sure that, you know, they're all standing up and not stuck down behind one. I don't know why that's bothering me, but it is. Ow. And they do make these the silicone finger sleeves that so you won't get burnt. I mean, I still feel it a little bit, but I have so much pain in my body that I'm almost immune to that particular burn. Plus, I think I've just burnt myself so many times that there's not many places left that haven't been burned at least 5 times. And I do wear them depending on what I'm doing, but with this little amount of glue, I'm not going to bother. I can never get a hold of that gun right. The fatter it gets, you would think that it's easier to, glue more at one time, but it really isn't, because if you're not careful, you'll end up where this is not flat at all. And right now, it is. A lot of times it gets very sunken in the center. So you need to be careful, actually, the larger it gets. Just a little tip there. Almost done. I think this is the size I'm going to stop with. I went too far with the glue. Over here. All right. So now what we'll do is, I have a piece of black felt to use for this. Oh, that should be big enough. It probably isn't. That one is. All right. So now what we'll do is we're going to take our pipe cleaner. I always bring the tips together and put 2 fingers in and just kind of give it that bend. And then we're just going to put some hot glue right there in the center. And then I'm going to place that there and hold it for a moment so that I'm able to let go of it and pick up the felt without it falling over. Okay, now there's enough hot glue in the center, and on my finger again, to hold that there. But I'm going to add right here where I didn't get any. All right. And then we're just going to set this aside and let it dry and start on our next one. Okay. Now this is brand new. Like, I have not used this before. Obviously, I wouldn't have put it back in the packaging like that. Okay. So I'm going to unravel quite a bit of it, and I'll just put the rest of it down on the floor. I'll hold most of it in my lap. And they have, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not, but they have some tape here. I'm going to cut off a small amount of it at the very tip, leaving a little bit of that tape on so it keeps that from unraveling. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay this on our mat, and we're going to find our center point. Should be about right there. And I'm just going to use the hot glue gun to burrow into it, making a hole, and then putting in some hot glue. And then we're going to stick this rope down in there. Give it a second to set. Hey Kim, glad you made it. I am not sure how long ago that message came through, so I hope you got to see some of the first one. Now I'm just kind of getting this, ready. Whoops, that did not stay. Maybe I didn't put enough hot glue in there. You want to be careful when you're doing this up here and pushing in on it, because you end up putting a film of the hot glue onto the decorative rope. And believe it or not, you get enough of that on in different spots and it will be very noticeable. And up close, you will be able to see it on the wreath center. All right, I think that's going to stay now. Right, so now I'm just going to get this ready because you want to make it tight because you don't want to see any of that styrofoam. All right, so now that I have that, I'm just going to lift it up right over here and put just a little bit of hot glue and then push that back down. And put that up, put some hot glue there. The hot glue likes to melt foam as it is, and this particular foam, I'm not used to, I don't usually use this kind of foam. I got it from a yard sale. They were selling off a bunch of craft supplies. I thought, hey, why not? I'll try it. So if this isn't working, I'll have to run and grab another styrofoam ball so we can make this work. I mean, if I held the microphone up to that, you could probably hear it sizzle. All right. And the further you get, once you get around this top part, it does get a lot easier. And you don't have to wait as long either. I just give it a little push after I lay it on the glue. And the better you are at getting it centered to begin with, the easier this will be for you at the end as well. But don't worry, I am definitely not perfect, but it's not that hard to fix if you are off center. So maybe I'll be off center enough to show you what I'm talking about. I hope I'm in frame here. You guys can see this. So where you're, I hope you guys could tell by watching, you're putting the glue just outside of the other rope, not too close, but not too far away either. But if you do get it too far away, just kind of bring the rope and drag the glue so it comes up underneath with it. This ball's working just fine, I think. Sorry, I needed a drink. Just keep going around and around. So what do you guys think about this so far? Like I said, it is tedious. I can't fast forward on live. I love how some of this is bubbling up. I mean, it's got texture, not just in appearance. Ow. Oh, that one hurt. We're getting to the end. Close. So on this one, it's the opposite. You can go faster the longer it's gotten, in the, when you're toward the wider end of it. Anybody got any fun weekend plans? I know one of these days for sure we're coming down to see you, Arlita. I'm just not sure if it'll be Saturday or Sunday yet. All right. Man, is that getting tangled up. Just give me a second to let this untangle a bit. All right, sorry about that. Aside from that, I think I'm going to try to get in the pool. And if I don't get it done tomorrow, I need to work on uploading all of my wreaths to Etsy. Apparently, following this new algorithm, Thank God ChatGPT can help me with that. So that should be fun. Too bad I can't do that from the pool. I would drop my computer in the pool in a heartbeat. Plus, we have this like waterfall feature in our pool, and I love hearing the sound of the water. It's like one of my favorite things. I love water. Now, usually this works, holding it on its side normally, but for some reason today, it's not working the way I want it to. So just a couple more times around, guys. Bear with me. Stay with me. I want you guys to see this beautiful wreath that you helped make a center, or were part of making a center for. Okay. Last strip. And we'll end it. And I'll show you how to do that. Wow, that is probably the first time I have not had to go around. So what I would normally do, I am not going to worry about that very tiny portion. But if it were larger sticking out there, but yet before it was real thin and it was just a rope, you just kind of go through and you just glue it on to the rope until you get to the section where you have some of the side showing that you can glue to. But this one ended pretty darn good, I'd say. So all we're going to do is cut off about an inch, that's more like probably 2 inches, almost 2 inches. Just cut it. Yes, you're going to start to unravel here. You're welcome to put a piece of tape on there. I don't have any right now near me. So I'm just going to put a clothespin on there and drop it down. And then I'm just going to take a bead of glue about the length of the rope. And I'm just going to lay that in there. Okay, now something that I did forget to put on the supply list, but if you don't have it, it really doesn't matter. It's just maybe a little extra. So if you have the U-pins, that is a good thing. If you don't, I really grabbed way too many there. Don't worry about it. And normally I would cut these down, but this is much thicker and it's going to be dead center. So it don't matter. But normally I would cut those down because I use a lot of the smaller ones more than the bigger ones. All right. But the thing that I had forgotten to mention, and like I said, if you don't want to use this, you do not have to, is you can use a cable clip. What I do is I take the backing off and then I peel the sticky off to where it's just the plastic. And I have looked high and low. You cannot find them without the adhesive backing. Then I put a bunch of hot glue right there, and then I have the pipe cleaner already attached to this, and then I push this down and it'll sink down into the foam. Not a lot, but this one it might soak in a lot, but on the other type of foam it doesn't sink in that bad. And then I would take the U-pins and go through the 2 little holes that are on either side of that. But we don't have to use this. We can just use a pipe cleaner again, match up the tips, use 2 fingers to kind of give yourself enough surface to put on here. Try to find the center. You can eyeball it, or you can actually sit there and try to measure it out, but I'm pretty good at eyeballing. Okay, and then I'm just going to set this in there, and I'm going to hold it there for a second until the hot glue dries a little bit. Back. I have a little fan over here. I make myself laugh sometimes. Who am I kidding? I make myself laugh all the time. So yeah, it's tacky, but it's not gonna kill me. And then I'm just gonna take these U-pins and just push them straight in. Yep, that hot glue did not burn me one bit. Okay, and then we'll put some more hot glue over top of that. And you can just let it dry like that, or you can put another piece of felt if you want to. All right, so there's our 2 centers. Isn't that pretty? You can see the swirl pattern. It's like a black, silver, and white. I just think that is so pretty. I can't wait to use it. All right, let me get hot glue off my fingers here real quick. Turn you off your pipe noise. I got a lot of noise. All right, I am going to move that off to the side. I'm going to grab this. Okay, so everybody remembers us making this. Okay, you can see how close together and small the pieces are because of how we cut it. And I am going to show you those examples in a moment. But I wanted to show you this wreath that I made. I am in love with this wreath, and I needed a center, and I didn't know what to do. And since the mesh out here is a chocolate brown with gold, what looks to me like a burgundy, then a copper, then I have gold, and then I have a layer of burgundy. I thought a brown center would be perfect, and I really thought that maybe this one might be perfect. I mean, it fits in there perfectly. I gotta snip that piece off. Remember, that's where I cut it accidentally. There we go. Can't even tell. All right, as soon as my hand's out of the way, I should be able to tell and see what it looks like. I think I like it. What do you guys think? Hey, Nancy. Kim, that first one is felt, and the second one was made with decorative rope that I ordered from Amazon. You can get it in all different colors and sizes, but I do use yarn. I can show you a couple I made with yarn. So do we like this? I'm going to give you guys a second to comment while I go get those examples here. All right, yeah. I like it. You think it's beautiful? Thank you. I do. I love it. I think it's awesome. Thank you for being a part of that with me, guys. Now, this one I did yesterday. I cut the pieces almost as thin as that one, if not just as thin. But my fold was wider than 3 inches. So my initial cut was probably 4.5 inches. And then I folded that in half. And my cuts, if you look, you can see how far back my cuts went. They went more than halfway. Where with that brown one, I tried to keep it to just to halfway because I wanted that tighter, smaller look to it versus this. But for this, I love this. I can't wait to use it on a wreath. This is the other example of how you can do the same thing with wider cuts and you get a slightly different looking result, but still beautiful. And I do see a lot of wreath makers use these. And if you look, like if you start paying attention to centers on the wreaths, I guarantee you're going to start noticing them yourself. And then, Kim, this is something I made with yarn. It's on a half foam ball. I made that with yarn. Okay, so we have this one that we made. Which one do you guys like better? I wish you guys could feel this because, I mean, it's not just texture visually. I mean, there's texture and it feels amazing. I love it. And not to forget about our original that we made. Nice and flat. And I'll go ahead and put you on there. All right. Yeah, as soon as I think I got it all on Craft Outlet, Kim. I'm almost positive I did. But yeah, isn't this a gorgeous wreath? Yeah, I am totally in love with this wreath. I don't know if I'm going to put this one up for sale or not. I might have to make another one if somebody wants it. And it is I mean, not this one, but I have more of the mesh. I can make a whole nother wreath just like this if somebody does want to purchase this. And as soon as I do that, it'll be in my Etsy shop. I'll use this as a picture for it, maybe get it posted sooner. All right. So I think that's everything. If you have missed this and you are watching on YouTube right now, please don't forget to subscribe and then turn on those notifications. That way you'll see when I'm live or when I've posted something new, and you will not miss out on the ADHD chaos. That is so much fun. All right, guys. I think that's everything. We'll have to think what we're going to do next time. All right, ladies. Take care.